our Garuda Mudra, it really promotes the energy of freedom. And so if you'd like to bring that mudra into your space, it's our left palm facing like the heart or facing throat chakra. And then our right thumb just hooks with the left. So it's like if you were doing that bird shadow puppet on the wall, and we're just gonna hold it in front of our hearts. Yeah, let it be free. Or hold it in front of that throat. Let's drop into a space of letting go and of freedom. Inviting in freedom of movement today. The freedom to gather, freedom to be here together and practice. Giving ourselves a few breaths to drop in. Maybe noticing the outer edges of our body. If we were to trace around the body, if you used to trace when you were a kid, or maybe you still do, putting that blank piece of paper over the top, tracing around, just maybe trace around the outer edge of your body. And then visualize that body full of life, of prana, maybe of light, of freedom. And as we connect with our breath, just inviting in a sense of being today. We're not here to achieve, we're here to be. Our Garuda Mudra is here to remind us of that freedom, that lightness of being. Maybe your next breath, you notice that space between your body and the back of the palms. And then your next breath, you notice that space. Then feel it fill the ends of the fingertips. Feel that space, feel it fill the fingers, and then fill your entire vessel. Now dropping into the parts of our body that are connected to the floor. So we have this lightness of our eagle, but yet we're grounded into our space. Now let's exhale and inhale. We'll exhale for Om. Maybe you bring your hands to prayer. Maybe you fly that little mudra up and away. Maybe you cross your space. Really nice, guys. There's a Native American proverb that says, if you come across a feather on your path, it means you're on the right path. Let's inhale and bring our wings out, expanding through those fingertips, maybe even activating those arms to extend it out. Yeah, then we'll bring our arms out in front. Let's bring that right arm underneath, that left arm on top, finding our eagle arm. So maybe those palms are touching, maybe the backs of the hands are touching. And now let's activate that core, feeling steady in the side body, now steady in the front of the body, in the back. Now gently, we're going to come into one leg out. So maybe bring that left leg out and the right leg in. So the right foot is on the inside of that left leg. Hold those arms, ground those sits bones. Maybe wiggle it out. Yeah, find that seated position. Flex the left foot towards the face. Now let's, with our eagle arms, kind of twist on an exhale towards that left. And try to press that right side of the leg down. It doesn't have to touch the ground, but bring some activation into that adductor, that inner thigh, to press the leg down, and we'll twist to the left. Breathe in. Let's exhale, bring the eagle arms through middle. Twist over to the right so the elbows are on the same side as that knee. Now let's glance towards the left shoulder. Now you can make these arms as active as you want by pressing them together, or you can just kind of rest them in one another. Now let's exhale, bring the elbows back in front of the heart. The gaze shines forward now. Gently release those arms. Feel that freedom as we unravel, arms out. Maybe bring them down. The legs are still as they are. Drip the head down. Chin comes down. And then exhale, lift the chin to the sky, head goes back. And then bring that chin forward. Then we'll bring our arms back out in front. Now angle that heart towards the left foot. And then reach those fingertips as if you were reaching past the foot. And when you start to feel a stretch in the back of that leg or that back, let the hands come to the ground. Maybe you keep the gaze lifted, or you can tuck that chin down. Maybe pressing the left heel down, but flexing the foot. We'll breathe in and out into the back body. Let's inhale. And then exhale to kind of drag those hands across the floor as we bring the shoulders back over the hips. Lifting the head, shoulders go back, the heart beams forward. Now bring that right knee up, send the right leg long. Maybe you want to kind of thunder thigh and kind of flap those legs. Maybe you want to kind of gently kind of slap the tops of the legs, bend the knees and kind of massage or slap the legs a little bit. And then send the right leg long. Bend the left foot. So maybe the left foot's on the inner thigh towards that knee. Adjust those sits bones again. And then sweep the arms forward. Left arm underneath this time, right arm on top. Find your eagle arms. And then maybe when you do that, you just settle into those sits bones again. You can lift the arms up and shoulder, elbows in line with shoulders. And then we'll exhale, bring the elbows over towards the right. You can gaze over that right shoulder, and maybe you gaze over the left. Flex the right foot. So that right top of the leg is active as we twist. Now another breath. Now exhale to bring the elbows in line with the heart. The gaze shines forward. And on your next exhale, bring those arms over to the side, the left side. Maybe you gaze over the right. Maybe you're pressing your arms into one another. Maybe you're not. Feel the active front of the body, active back body. Now exhale, bring the elbows in front of the heart. Gaze forward at those hands. Let's unravel those hands, expand those wings out. Whew, hallelujah. Lower the arms down, or maybe you bring them up above the head. We'll meet with our hands in prayer in front of the heart. Yes. And we'll inhale, bring the arms above the head, and then hinging at the waist, draw the heart towards that big toe. The hands reach in the direction of the foot. When you start to feel that right back of the leg, kind of say hello, and maybe the low back, bring those hands to the ground. You can keep the gaze forward, or maybe you tuck the chin in. And then maybe we surrender into freedom in the shape. Let's breathe in. Exhale, sigh. On an inhale, Let's drag those fingers across the floor as we just bring the tailbone, the backbone to stack one vertebrae on top of another, shoulders over the hip. When we get there, let's bring our arms out like a T, kind of spreading those wings. We can roll the shoulders up and back and get those shoulders set. And then extend that left leg long. Let's flex both of our feet. Yeah, now bring the hands to the side. Activate the tops of the legs. And as you activate the legs, you kind of pull those kneecaps towards the hips. Maybe you feel the ankles and the heels lift off the ground for our Dandasana, our staff pose. Now this doesn't look like much, but it's very active. So maybe notice where you have the strength within. And now let's release into freedom, lowering those heels down. Feel the legs relax, maybe even feeling that torso stop firing. And then we'll do that again. So roll the shoulders back. Maybe your hands touch the ground, maybe they don't, depending how long your torso is and long your arms are. Now activate, pull those kneecaps towards the hips. The quads are active, heels lift. Maybe gaze past those big toes. Or maybe if you want a little more freedom, you gaze up at the sky where the ceiling meets the wall. And just gaze upward. Now release the effort, lower the legs down. Walk the hands behind us, just a smidge, fingertips point towards the glutes, and then maybe bring the feet to the ground. And with those feet on the floor, hands behind us, bring the feet mat distance, and then drop the knees over to the right. So we kind of windshield wiper over. So maybe that right knee is towards that right heel. Maybe it's lifted, but we're gonna go over to the right. And then exhale, rock it over to the other side. And then again, over to one side. Over to the other. Now bring those knees back to the middle. Maybe bring the feet in just a little bit. Keep the hands where they are. Now bring the shoulders kind of over the hips. So we're going to sit up a little bit higher. Bring the arms out so the palms face the same direction towards one another. Let's rock it back. Reclining into bow pose. Maybe we lift one heel up and flex the foot or point the toes. Maybe we bring both heels off the ground. Roll the shoulders back so the heart lifts. Finding boat for just a breath. And then exhale, lower down the heels. Maybe you bring the hands to the shins, shine the heart forward. And then exhale, round the spine, chin to chest like a cat-cow seated. Then inhale, lift the chest. Press the hands to the shins. And now come back into a more neutral spine, sitting kind of straight up in the back. Palms shine towards one another, releasing off the legs. Rock it back. Maybe you lift one heel. Maybe you lean back a little more and lift the other heel for Navasana. Be here 2 more breaths. Now on the end of that second breath, lower the heels. Bring the chest and shoulders over the hips. Bring the hands down. Now let's walk the hands back. Walk those heels forward. Come onto our backs. Maybe you log roll it over to the side. I often like to log roll over to one side and then come to my back. So when you get there to your back, hug the knees into your chest. And we'll rock side to side. Now one more breath here. And then exhale, bring those knees to stack over the hips. And the ankles are in line with the knees. Let's cross the right leg over the left. So we're going to bring a variation of eagle legs into our space here on our backs. Maybe you bring the right leg behind the left leg, if that's your variation of eagle legs, if you can bring that foot behind. Otherwise, just cross the legs. And now let's bring our hands to interlace, but press our hands on to the top of that right thigh. So now we have our legs crossed, our hands on top of that thigh. So let's squeeze our thighs together. So maybe feel a little activation in that low back, maybe the low belly. And now press the hands into the top of the thigh, press the top of the thigh into the hands. Holy cow. Let's be here now. Finding a present moment right here. Noticing the sensations in the body that fill the outer edges of our being. Maybe it's warmer now than it was a moment ago. Now let's mindfully stop pressing the hands into the thighs and the thighs into the hands. So release the hands off the thighs. And now release the squeeze of bringing the legs together. And just feel that freedom with just the legs crossed and hovering. Let's unwrap our legs. Maybe bring the feet to the sky, legs up. Or maybe you find a shavasana and just rest with your legs long. Whatever's going to find and offer some freedom right now after our eagle legs on the ground. Here, a couple breaths. And now let's exhale, bring the soles of the feet to the ground. Mat distance apart. And now we'll windshield wiper the knees, drop over to the right. Let's pause there. Maybe notice that stretch on the outer left leg. And then exhale, legs drop over to the side. To that left side. Now back to the middle. Exhale to bring those knees in line over the hips. Find wiggle so you get that low back on the ground. And now we'll cross that left leg over the right. So find your eagle legs on the other side. So now we'll press our thighs into each other. So the back of that left leg, I'm pressing into the top of that right thigh. They're squeezing together. Now interlace the hands. Maybe the opposite thumb comes on top this time. Now press those interlaced hands to the top of that left thigh presses into the hands. And then here we are. Try to not shrug the shoulders, relax those shoulder blades. Let's breathe in. 2 more breaths. And now exhale, release the hands from the thighs, relax the squeeze of the thighs, and then offer yourself freedom. Maybe legs up the wall, maybe shavasana, maybe feet wide, or maybe a happy baby. Letting go of the effort, letting go of that restriction in the shape. Now let's meet with our legs, our feet parallel to the sky, so legs like up the wall. Now point the feet on an inhale. And then exhale, flex the toes towards the face. Inhale, point the toes towards the sky. Exhale, flex the feet towards the face. Point the feet, inhale. Now exhale, bring the knees into the chest, find a happy baby. Maybe those peace fingers on the big toes. Maybe on the outer edges of the foot. Our legs are bent. Inviting some freedom in the hamstrings, that low back. Now on an exhale, release the hands from the feet. Feel those feet free. Lower the feet down. Bring the hands down. Now let's roll over to one side. Maybe lie on that right side or the left side. Rest the head on the arm. Pause here for a minute. And let's press up. Coming into tabletop with those knees underneath the hips. And the hands underneath the shoulders. From here, find a little bit of steadiness. Maybe kind of play around and rock side to side. And then we'll inhale to extend that right leg back. Leave the toes on the ground. And now we're going to gently and mindfully inhale so that left arm reaches up. So reach the left arm forward, fingers off the ground. Now bring that left leg up. And now bring the left elbow to right knee on an exhale. Let's really round. We'll inhale to lengthen. Good, exhale, round. And go at your own breath. 3 more rounds of breath. Maybe you breathe in static and you just stay in one place. However you choose to offer these breaths to yourself. On your final exhale, let's lower the hand and the knee down. Bring those arms out in front, walking them forward. Dip the heart down to puppy pose. Sits one lift to the sky, the heart to the floor, forehead maybe to the ground. Breathe in. And then exhale, bring those hands back underneath the shoulders. Ground into the hands, feel that right knee ground. Inhale, extend the left leg back, and then lower that left foot down. Inhale, draw the right arm forward. And then we'll inhale, lift the left leg. And now 3 breaths, we'll exhale, knee to elbow. However you want to spend these breaths, just giving them to yourselves. Now when you get to that 3rd exhale, let's meet with our limbs extended, so leg back, arm in front, breathe in. And now let's move together to round the spine. Knee to elbow, meet and rounded. And then we'll inhale, extend. And we'll move together, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend, one last time. And then lower down the knee, the hand. Now let's come into downward facing dog. So lifting up and back, exhaling to get there. And then doing whatever your downward facing dog calls for. If you move the head around, maybe you dip the knees down, or you maybe walk forward. We'll be here for 5 breaths. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Last breath. Now our next inhale, we gaze forward. On an exhale, let's caterpillar walk our toes forward. So our hips slowly begin to come kind of over the elbows and elbows over the wrists. So we might come onto the fingertips. Maybe our hands come off the ground as we lower the feet down. Let's sit back in our chair and float the arms above the sky. Maybe we bring our wings out like a T. And if you'd like, bring those hands into your Garuda Mudra, that left palm facing in, the thumb, wraps around. See if you can feel some freedom in the chest, maybe that low back. And now as we rise to stand, maybe we flutter those eagle wings and rise, bringing that freedom into the space. Maybe we wave that eagle above the head. Over to one side, grounding that left foot as we reach to the right. Then flutter that mudra over to the other side, opening up the other side body. And back above the head. Bring the hands to prayer or Garuda Mudra in front of the heart, facing forward, Tadasana. And one more breath. Exhale, release the arms, sweep them out to the side, ground the right foot, step the left foot back, coming onto the ball of that left foot, and then exhale to lower that heel and maybe stack the shoulders over the hips. Pull that right hip back and that left hip goes forward. We're not squaring the hips, but we're just drawing that right hip back and that left hip is just reaching forward. Inhale to bring the arms out in front. Thumbs in line with shoulders. Breathe in. And then exhale, draw that left hand back. So it's at that left shoulder. This is that archer pose, right? So we're going to set that arrow free. So we set our sights, glancing over that right thumb. And that left hand's got that arrow, right? So let's exhale to twist over to the right. Arm moving to the right, heart, shoulders over to the right. Much as you want. And then we'll exhale, bring it back to aim forward. Nice job, guys. Exhale over to the left. So towards that back leg now. That left shoulder might be really, really talking to us. Now let's go back to the center. Everything aims forward. We're going to bring our left hand forward, but that's just symbolizing that we have our sights set. And then as we bring that left arm forward on an exhale to meet the right, it's just letting it go. and releasing that need to do and just trusting. Exhale, let those hands come down to the side. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, straighten that front leg or bend it just enough so we can hinge at the waist, allowing for that surrender as we let it go. We set our sights, we let it go, we surrender, and now maybe we exhale even more, that trust bowing over that front leg. Just letting go. Another exhale to be. And let it go. Our next exhale slightly bends that knee as we begin to lift the chest up, finding a flat back. Maybe we bring our wings out to the side, or maybe we bring them up above the head, and then we rise up all the way, grounding the feet, pressing the feet actively into the earth as we do. Really nice, guys. Let the hands fall to the side. Bend that front knee, step the left foot forward. Maybe wiggle out the knees if you need to, and then plant that foot whenever you're ready. Step the right ball of the foot back, lower that heel down, straighten that leg. Exhale, sigh, let the breath go. Feel those shoulders stack over the hips, heart shines forward. Inhale, bring the arms up. And then exhale, draws that right arm back. Now feel those hips. The right hip goes forward, the left hip kind of comes back. Setting those sights over that left thumb. Now exhale, follow that thumb over to the left as we gently open up towards the left side of the body. Next exhale brings that hand back across, and then we'll go over to the right. Pause whenever you meet that point where that's enough. Exhale, bring the hands to face forward. Gaze over that thumb. Draw that right hand back. Set your sights. And then we'll exhale, bring that right hand to meet the left, letting you go. Feeling that beautiful freedom. Maybe we inhale, bring the arms up, or maybe we just come right into that surrender of letting go, half fold. And then whenever you're ready, move into that full surrender over that leg. Exhale. Now on your next exhale, press the feet into the floor, especially that left front foot, lift the back halfway. And then we'll inhale to rise the rest of the way. Any variation with those arms, up to the side or down, pausing at the top. Now bend that front knee. Maybe you come onto the ball of that right foot. We'll come into that crescent lunge, slight bend. Exhale, bring the hands down to the side if they're lifted, maybe to the hips. So maybe we step that right foot back if we need to. Ground again into the feet. And now exhale to interlace the hands behind the back. And we'll exhale and fold into that humble warrior. Feeling the courage and the strength and humility. That power in being, that power in receiving. Let's exhale to lift the heart, lift the chest. When you're ready, let go of the interlace and let those hands float in freedom. When they won't float anymore, we'll draw our hands in front of our heart in our Garuda Mudra. Exhale. Breathe in. Now exhale, shift the weight into that left foot, step the right foot forward. Let's meet in Tadasana with our Garuda Mudra. Maybe shake out those legs. And now let's exhale, ground into that right foot. Cross the left leg over the right leg. Find your Garuda legs, whatever they look like for you today. And now with that mudra, release the mudra, bring the arms in front, left arm under, right elbow on the crease, and find your eagle arms. Nice. Just letting go. One more breath in. We exhale to release those arms. We inhale to kind of stand tall and unravel that left leg. And then float the arms to the side, or maybe you float your arms into Garuda Mudra. Here's our Tadasana. And exhale to ground that right foot, step the left foot back. That crescent lunge on this side now. All the left foot grounding. Inhale, lift the arms to sky. And exhale, interlace the hands behind the back. You can always bring hands to the hips if that's easier on the shoulders. And now when you're ready, let's bow into our humble warrior, bringing the heart either hovering over that thigh or maybe on the inside of that bent leg. Namasthe Hasta Virabhadrasana. Now one more breath in. Exhale to let it go and to gently lift the chest. Those hands reaching behind us, keep them interlaced until we reach the top. And then when you're ready, release into freedom. Letting those hands float and drift. Maybe an exhale brings the hands into Garuda Mudra in front of the heart as we step the left foot to meet the right, meeting in Tadasana. Grounding the feet, maybe swaying those hips, wiggling the knees. And then exhale, ground that left foot. Inhale, bringing the right knee up, cross it over that left leg. And now bring the arms out in front, right arm underneath, left elbow in the crease. Find your eagle. Garudasana. One more breath in. Now let's exhale. Keep those arms where they are, but unwrap those legs and bring the right foot to the ground. So our feet are side by side. Inhale. Now exhale, ground that right foot. And now we'll hinge it forward on an exhale, bringing those eagle arms parallel with the ground. The left foot drags across the floor. Maybe the toes are on the ground. Maybe we lift that leg up, coming into eagle arms in our Virabhadrasana 3. If you'd like to release your eagle arms, I just offer you that freedom to do so whenever makes sense for your practice, for your time right now. Now on your next exhale, bend that right knee to bring that left toe either to the earth, and then bring that left foot to meet the right. If you haven't released your arms yet, release your arms. And then inhale to bring the arms up above the head, ground the left foot, and now let's send the right knee up, and we'll send it out in front just to kind of move in the other direction with that leg. Flex the toes towards the face. This is kind of like what we did with our Dandasana leg. So that right thigh is active, point that kneecap towards the hip. And now let's exhale, meet in Tadasana. Grounding down. Let the breath go. We'll inhale, bring those arms up in front. Bring the right arm under, left arm on top. Find eagle arms, ground that left leg. And now hinge at the waist, dragging that right toe across the earth. Hovering the heart parallel with the floor. Maybe the right foot can ground. Maybe it floats high and soars like an eagle. If you want to release your arms, you can release the eagle arm. On your next exhale, begin to bring that right foot down, lifting into our mountain pose. Yes, release those arms now. Feel the freedom and expansion in the heart and the chest. Maybe the hands come to the side, maybe they're in prayer. We'll ground the right foot and then lift that left knee up and extend the leg. Drawing that kneecap kind of towards the hip as we activate that left thigh. Breathe in. And now exhale, ground the left foot. Bring those arms up above the head. Exhale, fold it forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, step back to plank. Good, and then when you get there, let's exhale to downward facing dog. And we'll breathe here together. Always lowering down to child's pose or to puppy pose if you want. Now one more collective inhale. Exhale collectively. And now lower down the knees to the ground. Bring those wrists under the shoulders. And now with that left hand under the shoulder, bring the right hand forward, like kind of like if you were to crawl across your mat, bring that right hand to that spot where it would land if you were going to crawl forward. So that right hand is forward. And now inhale to bring the left arm up to sky. And then exhale to thread that left hand under the heart. So the back of the hand maybe to the ground, lowering onto the side of the arm or maybe the shoulder. And then maybe that right arm comes forward even more. Or maybe place that right hand right beside the head. Just feeling some expansion across the upper back. Breathe in. And exhale, press that right hand into the floor to just lift the left side of the head, and the arm off the ground. Bring the arm maybe up to the sky, or just plant it right away, whatever kind of feels good for your space. And then lower both hands under the shoulders again. And then bring that left hand forward wherever it would go if you were crawling across your mat. Plant the left hand, bring the right arm to sky. Yeah, and then exhale, bring it down. Back of the right arm to the floor. And then that left hand, find that sweet spot that feels supportive for you. And opening up the side of the right shoulder. You can press the left hand into the floor or just rest that left arm on the ground. Now one more breath in. And exhale to lift the right shoulder off the ground, the right arm kind of sliding across the floor. You can bring those wrists under the shoulders. Maybe you just kind of sway side to side. Maybe you come into puppy and you just drop the heart down. So you kind of need to loosen up those shoulders a little, kind of shimmy, shake the shoulders out in tabletop. Or if you feel like you need to stretch the back, walk the hands forward. So kind of wherever your body finds itself after that little stretch we just did, kind of counter it with what your body needs. And now gently on an exhale, let's make our way to our back. So maybe we walk our hands forward, lower down onto the belly, and then we come on to the side, and then come onto the back. It's a really gentle, safe way for our spine to come onto the back. Is to do that log roll or to come off the ground. Log roll is always a winner. On our backs, we can bring our feet together, the soles of our feet together, letting those knees drop open. If you want a little bit of support in this shape, even if your knees go all the way to the ground, maybe just try with the blocks underneath the knees. Just kind of that symbol of support, that physical support under the knees, and just feel the nurturance of the blocks under the knees. Let the heart drop into the back of the body. Maybe your heart rate begins to slow. Maybe you're already reaching for a cardigan or a blanket as we slowly begin to shift into a little less effort. On an exhale, you can send your legs long, or maybe you stay here for your Shavasana today, in your supported butterfly. Just being the shape, not doing the shape, just being in butterfly or being in Shavasana. Maybe your next breath, just signaling the time in your practice for complete relaxation. Whether you're in Shavasana or whatever shape you're in, now we rest. Allowing ourselves to be at ease. Maybe envisioning more ease in our life. And just like we released that arrow earlier, just releasing the compulsion or the need to constantly achieve or constantly do. Bringing in some freedom. Feeling the appreciation of the simple things. Welcoming each moment as an opportunity to live fully. And dropping in with each breath to attune more deeply to your own inner being. Surrendering to life. And dropping into the experience of being alive. Letting go. Dropping in. Softening our edges. And dropping in. Now maybe noticing the outer edges of your being. You can either remain in Shavasana or If you'd like to roll over to one side and gently press up to seated, you can close with some pranayama and a silent sit, or close with a silent sit. It's whatever your prana directs you today. So giving yourself the freedom. If you'd like to practice pranayama of your choice, you can. You can sit. I can guide you through your alternate nostril breathing, which is our Yana Mudra, our index and thumb together. You can rest that in our lap. And our Vishnu Mudra in our right hand, or the index and middle finger on that third eye. Otherwise, tuck it in. We'll have our ring finger and our thumb on our nostrils. So wherever those fingers are, we'll close the right nostril. We'll inhale on the left for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Close left, exhale right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Close right, exhale left. 3, 2, 1. Inhale left. 3, 4, 5, 6. Close left, exhale right. 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Now release that right hand into the left. And drop into your natural breath. Just letting go. You can bring your hands to prayer, or maybe Garuda Mudra, or maybe hands in the lap. Let's exhale and inhale. Exhale. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.